Hello, Steve Fletcher here, and welcome to the Everything Guide to Learning to Play Guitar. Before we get started, can I ask you please to like this video, subscribe to my YouTube page, and really help me grow my business. Also, if you've got time, head over to FletcherSteve.com, where you'll find a multitude of resources constantly being updated to assist you with your day-to-day guitar playing needs. So what's going to happen now is we're going to start putting these chords into the order that you might expect to see them in a song. Now you're going to be asked to change from one chord to the next a little bit quicker than you might be comfortable with at first. But the more you practice, there's that P word again, the easier it will get to change from one chord to the next. Before you start this video and before you download the accompanying sheet, what I would like you to really make sure you can do is play the A and the D and the E without looking at the sheet or the video or anything. Okay, in other words, can you play the A and the D and the E off by heart without even having to go, that finger goes there. So as we progress through your learning, we're going to be introducing more and more chords, more and more different ways to strum them. The strum is the process of you actually playing the chord. And we're going to start off learning, small sections of songs and then build up to playing for longer and longer. Playing for longer is just like running a marathon. You have to build up your stamina to it. It's not just a case of saying, right, I'm going to play for 5 minutes now, because your brain will get completely frazzled. You have to sort of practice playing for, 30 seconds to a minute and then, increase it. So that's what we're going to do over time. But what I want to give you first is just a little rundown of what you're going to see on the accompanying sheets, which are available to download from my website. Check out the link down there. It's just how you're going to look at playing one chord and then another. Now, all your songs are broken up into bite-sized chunks called bars. Bars make it much easier to identify where you are in a song. So rather than saying go to 3 minutes and 3 seconds of the song or whatever, people might say to you, go to bar number 12, and you'll count your way down. It's a lot easier that way. And inside each bar, you have a beat. The beat of the bar, 99 times out of 100, and certainly for this first, 4 or 5 sections that you're going to do, there's going to be 4 beats in a bar that just go nice and steadily, okay? And you play a chord and then change to the next one within that bar. So what you'll have is that count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll play the chord on beat 1 and then use the 2, 3, 4 gap to change to the next one. Now on the sheet that you've hopefully downloaded, the What You're Going to See Now sheet, you'll see we've got the A chord followed by the D, the E, and then the D again. And I actually want you to try and do that whole thing twice. So we're going to go A to D to E to D to A to D to E to D. All right, and you can see there that those chords are broken up into their bars. Each chord is on beat number 1. The downward arrow is where you play the chord. Now, what I'd like you to also use is a metronome. To keep yourself in time, to keep yourself into a steady beat, it's a really good idea to use a metronome. Now, metronomes come in many different shapes and sizes, but all a metronome does is send out an even beep or a click or a clack or whatever to keep you in time. Just so that you don't have to sit there thinking, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, Now, fortunately, you live in this wonderful digital age where there are loads, and I mean loads, of free, yes, free metronome apps. In fact, you'll have to look really hard to find one that you have to buy. So here is the one that I use on my tablet. It's an Android tablet, so I use an app called Metronome Beats. I don't endorse or work for Metronome Beats, it's just the one that I use, but there are absolutely thousands available. Now, they all look slightly different. Metronomes all look slightly different. Try and get no reflection there. But what they all have in common is they all have a number dial. Okay? The bigger or smaller you make that number affects the speed. This is what we call the tempo. Now you can see there, just by random, I've got this on 49 beats. Now that's 49 beats per minute. That means if you set a stopwatch for a minute, it will click 49 times. And that's what we measure our tempos in, is beats per minute. So if I put this at 60 beats per minute, it literally is 1 second per beep there. All right. And the higher you make that number, the faster it goes. Okay. Every song that you do is a different tempo. It goes at a different speed. So what we are going to do is we are going to together, we're going to start off playing each song and this example at a nice slow and steady tempo, and then just increase it until you are playing to the full track speed. And the track speed could be anything depending on what the track is that you're playing. So what we're going to do, and this might be hard at first, is we are going to set that metronome to playing at 60 beats per minute. So there we go. I have changed it. I've also dropped it. I've changed it to 60 beats per minute, which would sound like this. And we're going to try and play that example on your sheet. Okay, so from the A, 1, 2, 3, go. A, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, E, to the D, 3, 4, D, back to A, 3, 4, A, to the D, 3, 4, D, to the E, 3, 4, E, to the D, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4. So that was it. A very straightforward, famous last words, little example of changing from one chord to the next within a structure. All right. Now, it might take you a while to get all that right, but don't panic. That's what practice is for. Now, once you've mastered that, you're then ready to go over to our next video and learn your first proper song. So we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.